Who's doing the intro? You doing the intro?
Sure.
You can do the intro if you want to. Or I can do the intro. It's up to you.
It's up to you. We're rolling.
I know. I'm just trying to figure out who wants to do the intro. Is this just the intro?
I guess.
Welcome to this.
Welcome to Film Nerds Hour.
Can we rebrand everything and just have our show be called This? Welcome to this.
I don't know how well that'd go for marketing.
Really? You don't think that'd be easy to find on Google? I say that knowing it wouldn't.
Somebody came up with one, or was it you that?
I know. I told
me like all the weird band names.
Yeah. South and Music are two great bands that are impossible to find if you Google it. Try Googling music band. Try it. I swear to God, try it.
It kind of makes me wonder if you could type in music the band, and it might work.
I don't think it would. We're not testing it on here. You know what's the other funny thing about that? I talked with you about that on another episode of the show. And I guarantee there's someone listening to this like, am I watching another episode over again? What's happening?
Probably. Well, I found one thing.
Oh.
The band.
Oh yeah, there's the band. Take a load off Fanny. Take the load for free.
So these people didn't
Put
exactly
the load right on me.
think of some good names, did they?
They did. Well, you gotta also understand, when that band came out, there wasn't this thing called the internet. They didn't have to think about search algorithms, dude.
Well, yeah, I was going to say that too, but I was just thinking too, like, you know, if you have two band names, like, you're not going to have two band names called the Beatles.
Right, but was there any other band named The Band? I mean, at worst, someone will go into a records shop looking for one of their albums and get into a 5-minute Abbott and Costello routine. I'm looking for music by The Band. Which band? The Band. Yeah, which one? The Band. Yeah, which one? That's it. That's the worst, but eventually someone's going to go over, look alphabetical order, and find it.
That's true. Well, today we are bringing you the episode of Slither. Why did I draw a blank?
Yeah, why? We just watched it 20 minutes ago. I'm breaking the illusion of the show. Why is there garbage on here? Jeez. Hold on. Is this great noises? Okay.
Are you trying to stimulate our audience eardrums?
Yes, this is a good segue into our sister channel, Film Nerds ASMR, where I just put my hands in a bunch of beans. All right.
Well, that sounds stranger.
Yeah.
Stranger Things.
Yeah. There haven't been Stranger Things.
Well, I would.
This movie's kind of Stranger Things-esque if everyone was stupid on that show.
Yeah, but it is a James Gunn movie, so
yeah.
I mean, in terms of if you love Michael Rooker and James Gunn, although there is a thing that you pointed out, which was there's a very big lack of Sean Gunn.
There's a giant, statistically speaking, there is 100% lack of Sean Gunn.
Yeah.
Unless maybe he got a writing credit. Because I'd imagine him and his brother probably...
Unless he's hidden in the background somewhere.
Yeah. Which is funny because we watched the DC fandom thing, and James Gunn talked about how the new Suicide Squad is going to be the greatest thing he's ever done because it's the first movie he's ever done where there's no studio interference. You're telling me there was studio interference with this movie? Because this is the least apologetic movie I've ever seen. It knows what it is.
And I wonder, because it is one of his earlier movies, too.
It's an indie, that's for sure.
I think it made it to theaters, though.
Yeah, but, I mean, indies can still make it to theaters.
That's true. He was married to Jenna Fisher, apparently. I didn't know that.
Good for him. Who is that? All I heard was a dude was married, and I'm like, bravo,
James
you
Gunn.
did it. You won the race. Good job.
James Gunn was married to Jenna Fisher. For those of you who know The Office, you know what I'm talking about. Pam Beesly.
See, that's why I said Pam.
Did you say Pam?
Earlier before I said Pam, because you were like, Kim from The Office is here, but you didn't
No.
say Kim. You were like, what's your name? I'm like, Pam. I was thinking of that because I knew James Gunn did this, and I knew he married Pam. That's why it crossed my wires. Saved it. All right.
Ugh.
You can't dispute that. There's no evidence saying that that isn't what happened. That's a very logical answer.
You said Kim first.
Like the chicken or the egg?
Anyway.
You know what I love? I love you search James. And would you like to hear the order of when you Google just the name James, the first things that come up?
Alright, I'm a little scared, but go ahead.
You should be. First up, Charles. James Charles.
Yeah.
Internet makeup guy. James Harden, the basketball player. James Franco. Then James Bond.
Hey.
James Baldwin, the novelist. And finally, James Brown.
Huh.
And then, oh, okay, there's two more. James Dean. And then James Bond movies.
Well, at least Franco made the list.
Yeah, I guess it's probably like whatever's being
Relevant at the
searched most
time.
relevant. Yeah,
Because that'll probably
Current.
change in like 3 days.
like I'm sure when the Chadwick Boseman James Brown movie was coming out, James Brown was probably way more searched than any other ones.
Yeah. And then to give you guys kind of an idea, well, it looks like James Gunn's Slither movie was his, well, he had the Ghouls come out, Melvin Goes to Dinner, Doggy Tales, so a bunch of other stuff. Movie Tales from the Crapper.
Mm-hmm.
Terra Firma. 13 Ghosts, I didn't know he did that one.
Yeah. Yep. Super.
Super.
Did you ever see Super?
I have, and I do own it.
Yeah.
It's a great Ryan Wilson movie.
So wait.
Or Rainn Wilson movie, sorry.
Okay, so this came out in 2006. Slither did.
Yep.
So that
Which
was
I thought was 2009. So.
that was the middle of his marriage with Jenna Fisher.
Yep.
Okay, so they were. So it was a he got his wife to be on it.
Yeah, because I thought it was 2009, and I was like, that would have been the tail end of their marriage. So, but no. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then I'm pretty sure you guys can figure out why we're doing this particular review today. Not at all to go with The Faculty.
No.
You know, with alien parasites.
How would you lie to our fans? It totally frickin' is. Oh, why'd you say alien parasites? Spoilers, by the way, for Slither. If you haven't gotten the gist of the show yet. Why are you giving me the death stare again?
I'm not.
You always do this. You did this yesterday, too.
Did I?
I think I accidentally interrupted you on a recording session, and this was your response. Like you were about to grab a pen and stab me in the face.
Did I?
Yes! You're never aware of this.
Because I don't... When I think... I just put on a face and I don't notice. My face just kind of goes into a mutual...
Yeah. It's either super happy or resting bitch. Like, ugh.
So this is why people were scared of me in high school.
This is why people are scared of you currently.
Well, I mean, it could always be worse. It could always be like that.
Why would you show me that?
Because that's another movie that reminds me...
I purposefully avoided seeing that movie. What? We're not... I don't want to review Teeth on here. Can I say that?
Alright, fine. I'd be willing to do that.
I know you'd be willing to, but I just...
I'd do that as a solo act, and that'd be fair. I'd let you sit out because I already made you sit through Society.
Fine, I'll sit out, but I want just as much pay.
But in all fairness, I will say Teeth is actually a way less disturbed movie.
Less disturbing?
It literally, here's Society. Here's Society.
Okay, well...
Society's up here. If you would bring Teeth down to pretty much here.
Saying Teeth is less disturbing than Society. That's any movie I can think of is less disturbing than Society, except maybe Centipede. Okay? Society sets a standard. There's like...
Well, it's Brian Usna.
There's Gateway, and then there's the finish line. You know what I mean? Like...
Well, it is Brian Usna.
Oh, God. I'm sure he's a great guy. It's just, I'd hate to be in his head. Would you want to close your eyes and see that shit? I don't think so.
No, I think with the stuff that I write, I wouldn't even want to be in my own head, so I can only...
You already are. I didn't know a 15-year-old girl wrote our script today. Dear Diary, today was as black as my soul, and I don't want to be in my own head. My glasses came off.
Well, to get into this...
Tears are always more delicious closer to death. Just, yeah. So, watch Slither before we talk about it if it interests you.
Yeah, which... It's a popcorn movie, I'd say.
Yeah, there is a bit that is very Society-esque towards the end. So if you didn't like Society, you might not want this one.
Or if you don't like The Thing.
Yeah, there's gore. It's good gore, but I know it's not everyone's favorite thing.
And it's not overboard either.
No. If country accents tick you off, sorry, literally everyone in this movie.
Yeah, which, I don't know if it was necessary. It's kind of hard to say because...
I mean, you're trying to get the small town vibe. Like, that's the same thing they did with Eight-Legged Freaks. And The Blob, to an extent, too.
That's true. But it's definitely noticeable. Like, I know we talked about Fargo.
Yeah.
Minnesota accent things.
Oh, yeah, we were talking about accents being over-exaggerated. I've lived here my whole life, Minnesota. Never heard anyone say, "Oh, yeah, sure, you betcha," in a non-joking manner. Never heard anyone who that's their voice.
Yeah, I'm sorry. And I've been all over Minnesota, and I've never once been to a small town. I mean, I've been, around even to the smaller, more country parts. And
maybe we just think small town, we over-exaggerate in our heads what a small town is.
Well, that's because anybody who's in an urban or city area will never know what it's like to be truly country.
That's fair.
You can live out there for a year, but if you aren't born and raised there, or at least raised there at a young age, or lived out there for about 3 years minimum, you're never really going to understand country living and what people sound like out there.
Yeah, that's fair.
So,
but this is a little hour and a half romp. Where can people find it if it interests them?
You can currently find it now on YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, Vudu, and Amazon Prime, all for rent on there for $3.99. Which this movie, I'd say it's worth it.
Yeah, for $4, I'd say.
For $4. I mean, I'd say it's a little steep, but I mean, it's still worth it.
Yeah, get some friends, get ready to laugh, and watch some gross stuff.
Yeah.
If you're not partial to like leeches or slugs,
Yeah. But if you were like me and you were a killer animal fan, especially with the movie from the Asylum, Attack of the Killer Lampreys with Christopher Lloyd.
Attack of the Killer what now?
Lampreys, I think.
Hold on. This requires a Google search engine.
Or it was just called Killer Lampreys.
Killer Lampreys. Attack of the Killer Lampreys? Is that it?
Yeah, Blood Lake, Attack of the Killer Lampreys.
What's the full title?
Blood Lake, Attack of the Killer Lampreys.
Blood Lake.
Which is on Tubi as well, if you guys want to check that out.
Attack of the Killer Lampreys?
Yeah. In which Christopher Lloyd's in there as the mayor, and
Zach Ward. I love Zach Ward.
He has one of the funniest scenes ever.
What the heck? Jeremy Wade's in that movie? Why the heck is the dude from River Monster? He doesn't need that. Like, what?
Because sci-fi gets all sorts of fun people to just do random shit.
Sharon Dowdy. Oh, what? That's the chick from Charmed.
I don't think you realize, too, that half those people don't have a career anymore.
And it breaks my heart, thanks.
Not really. They kind of just came and went.
Yeah, they should have kept going.
Well, it's kind of hard to see people for, 6-10 seasons of a show and then be like, huh. Let's see him play another character.
Yeah. I mean...
And that's not to diss them. I'm not dissing their acting. It's just... It's one of those things where it kind of becomes hard. Like,
it wasn't 6 or 7 seasons. I think her character got killed off in season 3 of Charmed. Spoilers. Sorry. If you haven't... The show came out in 1992. If you haven't seen Charmed yet, I'm sorry.
I don't think
you'll live.
I don't know if I didn't even know Charmed exists. Well, no, I did.
Yeah, how did you not know Charmed exists?
I did. It's one of those things that kind of pushed to the back of my head because I haven't had the chance to get into it.
It's awesome witch ladies. It's great.
I have it on my Netflix list, so that's also on Netflix. 8 seasons.
Why does she look familiar? Oh, that's why.
Anyhow.
Yeah, go.
Slither.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys are fan of kind of slow killer animal movies, it's perfect for you. It'll feast your...
Don't use the word feast.
Which is another awesome, crazy, gory, nasty movie that I won't make you watch.
Oh, God. Yeah, thank you for not making me do it.
Because I want to review it, but I think I'll do that on my own time.
Appreciate it.
You guys can get a couple of solo episodes if you want. Mm-hmm. Some of these really outlandish movies, or I know one of our other hosts will do with me because he's into that stuff.
Get Doug on the horn.
Oh, no, Doug would not do that.
No?
No, we got somebody else special that we bring on here.
Do I know this person?
Not yet.
You're making it sound like it's someone you're teasing for the next movie. Like, what do you...
I don't think so, but if they decide to come on here, if we decide to do it, then I'll let you know.
Is this our Adam Warlock of co-hosts?
Pretty much.
Okay.
They will definitely be in for the ride of all the crazy stuff like Society that you would not be willing to do.
You made me do it already.
I know, but
it's in the lexicon.
Feast is up there with the disturbing factor of Society.
Is that the one where they were dressed up as animals?
Yeah, that's the weird monster things that hump everything.
Adding more things to my search history. Start going over the story of Slither. Please.
All right. Well,
wait, Feast. Yeah, with the everyone's got the names like Hero.
Yeah, and the weird puker girl that holds the dick and is like, blood makes it feel good.
No. Yeah. No, you're on your own there, Chief. You're good.
See, and that just gives you a hint about how messed up Feast was. There's a baby scene in there that they try to catch a baby and it doesn't go according to plan.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Don't kill any children in movies.
No, and they were trying to make it a comedy, and that was the worst part about it too. Because I'm like, what part of that was funny?
Mm-hmm. Like there's another movie we got a review coming up for later this month that has a ghost of a dead baby, and I'm like, why? I don't need to see that. Why?
Yeah.
But if you kill anyone under the age of 18, I'm upset. And that happens.
I'm okay with it, but don't drag it out. I'm not okay with it, but
Yeah. To be sure, you're not okay with it. Yeah.
No, I mean, if it is effective for the story, and there's a certain, but if you're just putting it in there to put it in there, for undeserved suffering, like, come on, it's children. Let's not do that.
Just don't scare me. Don't disturb me.
Yeah.
But go on, Slither. So small town America.
Yeah, with Michael Rooker again. So that's how you also know it's a James Gunn movie.
You're gonna have to take those away from me. Emily, what's her name? She was also in the Spider-Man movies.
Elizabeth Banks.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
We have her. Who she played in Spider-Man?
She was Betty Brant.
Oh, right.
She also worked in J. Jonah's office.
She's bright blonde in this part.
Yeah, and that one she was brunette. And what else is she in? She was Rita in the Power Rangers movie. You ever see that?
No, I never really saw Power Rangers as a kid.
You actually might like that bit that we get of Rita.
Pitch Perfect movies. Those are good movies. Brightburn.
Yeah, she plays the mom. That's right.
Charlie's Angels, The Hunger Games. Which Brightburn is another James Gunn movie that was also great.
You might have liked her actually in Power Rangers because Rita is almost like a horror character in the beginning. It's interesting. Well, because she's like looking for golds, and people have gold teeth, and I won't say anymore. But...
Okay.
Yeah.
But.
Okay. Nathan Fillion is our lead. He's like a sheriff.
Well, they kind of sidelined him a little bit. He kind of became more of a secondary protagonist till the second act. Yeah,
he's kind of still... Well, like, when they show all these characters, there's no set main character, I'd say. Except maybe Elizabeth
Grant.
Banks.
I feel like they focused on Grant a little more.
Which is interesting, because if he's the main character, that means the main character is the monster, kind of.
Yeah. Well, at least for the first act.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say the second act is when we got more Nathan Fillion's character, Bill Party.
Yeah.
His
name is Party?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, Grant's name is Grant.
Oh, yeah, they make fun of him for that. His first name is the same as his last name.
Oh, which I think Brickleberry made the joke. Or no, it was Paradise PD. I think, where they made the joke that the judge, his parents were stoners.
Yeah.
And they thought it'd be funny to name him Judge, even though his last name was already Judge.
So he's Judge.
And then
he's also
they put
a judge.
middle name. They put his middle name as Judge, so he was Judge.
Judge. Technically,
yeah.
We got Greg Henry, which, wow, if you want to hate an actor, it's this guy. Like, I swear, he hasn't done any roles where I haven't just hated him.
Really? Has he been more? He was in Guardians of the Galaxy. Who is that? Was that the annoying in his face person against so he was in Star Trek Insurrection as well.
Mm-hmm. He has that face that's made for hating. And not to diss him, I'm sure he's a nice guy.
He's in the Belko Experiment as well.
Yeah, who was he in Guardians of the Galaxy?
I think he was that annoying officer that was getting all up in Star-Lord's face.
Well, because I Google him, I look him up on images, and he doesn't show up.
Either that, or he's like a background character.
It's possible he produced it, maybe? Oh, okay, here we go. Portrayed, blah, 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 looking at Wikipedia. Oh, yeah, he was Peter Quill's grandfather who pulled him away as his mom was dying of cancer. Yeah, that's who he is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, wasn't a biggest fan of him. He was in that. Oh, yeah, he was in Payback. He was Mel Gibson's partner who turned on him. He was in Gilmore Girls. Rich Man, Poor Man. Yeah, some White Collar. That's the other thing I know. Okay. Hell on Wheels. That's right. Okay. He does more TV than movie.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but he's the mayor and he just swears a lot and swears in front of children and just doesn't care. He's very easy to hate.
He's a dumbass.
Yeah. Oh, you'll say it. Yeah.
That is what his equivalent character is. It's just a complete dumbass with a lack, and it's not. It's like he said. It's not funny comedic. It's
annoying.
Well, you just die already.
Yeah.
Because it's a horror film.
Yeah, I wish his death was more satisfying. But...
Yeah, which it's really sad when you have that character because I wouldn't even say Jar Jar Binks was that annoying.
No, yeah, because he's just swearing like so indiscriminately. There's nothing I hate more than people who swear and they don't even like use it for effect. They use it to fill up time, Yeah. Because it's just pointless and it comes off more immature,
Well, because I mean, there's that scene where to go ahead a little bit in the story. There's a scene where he's literally like, "Oh, there's no fucking Dr. Pepper," and that's the only fucking thing I'm like, dude, really?
Yeah, he's just freaking.
And I'm like, not only is it just annoying to have a character like that anyway, and it's painfully unfunny.
Yeah.
But it's also like, why are you swearing at everybody when everybody else is trying to survive and you're worried about a frickin' Dr. Pepper?
Yeah, it wasn't Dr. Pepper. But it was supposed to be. Yeah, it was a drink. It was a soda. Yeah, and it's like, shut the frick up already.
It was kind of like some of the people in the Dead Don't Die movie for me.
Yeah, I liked that movie though. I liked
Bill Murray and Adam Driver in it.
Yeah.
And Tilda Swinton, but I'm sorry, the movie was so slow.
Yeah, that movie's not. I don't think it's meant to be fast paced. Like, it's a zombie movie, but it's also like Zombieland is a zombie movie. Like that movie's kind of just about people.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just the way they marketed it, which,
They marketed it as more action-packed than it was.
And I mean, it didn't need to be that, but at the same time, too, it's like, if I kill a zombie, I don't expect them to turn to dust. Like, what? Why are they turning to dust?
I mean, that makes it easier on saving ammo. But yeah, it's not as spectacular.
No, and I mean, for having it being R-rated. But we'll do that in another episode, because that is something of its own.
We get, like, a lot of just the town, and you're just, like, understanding who everybody is. You're getting all your players. When you say for Slither?
Yeah, you get a little glance at everybody's lives, how the town kind of works. Mayor's an asshole. Bill is just a good cop that's friendly to everybody and trying to do the best for his town, which you always hope to have a sheriff like that that's trying to do the better for his community, not
he's got his
picking favorites.
He's got his buddy cop who's so bored he's like he's trying to see how fast a bird can fly. With the speedometer. I
always like that because in a sense, I would feel like that's what small towns are. There's really not a whole lot of
murder
cases.
Yeah, and it felt like that. It's not like a lot going on.
Yeah, it's a popular trope but that does stick.
Elizabeth Banks is just a teacher.
Yeah, she plays Starla.
Yep. But we had like a meteor crashing.
Yeah, the first shot that we get of this movie is really cool because it starts off with an asteroid from space heading towards Earth. Mm-hmm. And then we get a shot of it
cracking open,
which they used a very decent amount. I mean, for 2006 and me thinking it was 2009, the special effects were actually pretty good even on DVD. We watched this on the DVD version, in which it was really good, and there was a good mix of practical effects in there too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't want to brag, but we watched it on DVD.
Don't buy in and all that. DVDs are obsolete. I'm sorry. There are still plenty of DVDs out there that, I'm not going to pay you $15 for a Blu-ray when I can go get it for $1 and it's...
You won't pay $80 for a copy of Rodan? No.
No, I'm sorry. Well, why? DVD makes it holds up just as well.
No, I meant for the DVD copy of Rodan. That's how much it's going for right now.
Well, I guess I'm rich.
I guess I have to rob you later. But so Slither, no, don't worry. A brick won't hit the side of your head like mid-recording session at all. Where'd your tablet go? All right. So
we kind of get to explore too Grant's life a little bit. That him and his wife are having some marital comforting problems. I think would be more.
Don't sugarcoat it. She doesn't want to slam. So.
Well, there we go. She doesn't want to screw. So
yeah. And of course, he feels frustrated, and that's not like a him being an asshole thing. Like any guy in his position, I can
think
say that
goes both ways because physical affection is of some sort.
It's important. It's important
because it's not even. I don't even think it's just about the sex at that point. I think it's also about like the fact that she hasn't like really hugged him or anything. They seem to be like together but distant.
Yeah.
They have a very distant marriage physically of any connection, which, that's something human, You always, I'll be the one to admit it that I still cuddle with a pillow because it's nice to have something to cuddle, fall asleep with, Get comfortable. You have that sense of comfort. It's a human need.
Yeah.
So I feel like, we kind of started off with that, and Grant is obviously, frustrated with that, and I would have to say too probably his marriage because he probably feels like it's falling apart at that point. Cause,
so he goes out to drink and runs into, who is it?
Margaret?
Yeah. I think so. Marguerite. Yeah, we gotta remember, it's small town USA, so it's not Margaret, it's Marguerite.
Margarita!
No, because why not just add a few more syllables to that standard name? But she takes him out to a tree that she carved their initials in, because I guess she's had a crush on him for a while. And she wants to do stuff, but he still doesn't feel right about cheating on his wife, which, good for him.
Yeah, and what makes it better, too, is that they're both drunk.
Yeah. And what makes it better?
Well, no, I think what makes it better is that he's
even drunk. He's faithful.
Drunk, he's still faithful to his wife, even knowing that their relationship is the best. But he still is like, I can't do this because it would break Starla's heart.
Yeah, good on him. But they hear something, so he follows.
Did they hear, or did he see? I thought he saw.
They heard something. They looked that direction. He found tracks. He started following them.
Okay, and that's when we get to see our first pod, which one of the things that kind of drove me nuts a little bit in this movie, but I kind of understand at the beginning too, is when the asteroid is coming down and we get a shot of Bill and his partner sitting in the car, and I'm like, how did you not hear that?
Yeah.
But I mean, one of the things is the asteroid does start to shrink before it hits the atmosphere, and then the rest of it kind of burns up to a smallish kind of rock.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but we get a shot of, which is really one of the awesome practical effects of the pod. I wouldn't even say it's an egg. I think it's a pod for the little aliens. And the cycles for this are actually pretty cool because they're not just little worms. They don't just start off as little worms.
They start off as like a needle thing.
Yeah, so they shoot. It shoots Grant right in the chest,
Yeah.
and it's almost like who's the antagonist in Men in Black 3 again?
Oh yeah, I gotta look him up, but he's played by the lead singer from Flight of the Conchords, who I love.
Yeah, Boris the Animal. That's right.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, if you've seen Men in Black 3, Boris has like these little like
He shoots
thorns.
like needles. Yeah.
These thorn needles out of his arm, out of his hands. It's kind of like that, but smaller. So it shoots him in the chest, which I feel like was almost a reference to Alien in sort.
Yeah.
And then I don't know why. I guess it could have been shock too, but Grant watches it burrow into his chest. He rips open his shirt, and then it just kind of wiggles in there. Looks like it took a bit, but I'm pretty sure it was probably shock that made him stop and was like, maybe I shouldn't pull this out.
Yeah.
And then he falls over the ground, starts convulsing, and then we get actually a pretty cool shot of
It's like 3D X-ray type of.
yeah, that shows the parasite crawling up to the back of his spinal cord at the very top, and then linking with him to start taking over his brain.
Yeah, so we see as an audience the biological like steps of it.
Yeah, which is really awesome because they timed it perfectly, and it didn't feel tacky. It didn't feel tacky at all. It didn't feel like it was unpaced right. So the transitioning for that was just right too.
Exactly.
So then Marguerite starts to she tries to figure out what's wrong with Grant, in which Grant gets back up and he's like, I'm fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything is kind of just back to normal, buttons up his shirt and everything. And Marguerite is played by Jennifer Coping, by the way. And then kind of where do we go from there?
He goes back home, but he plays, or no, he goes back home, but he doesn't go back to bed because he's like making his little pile of leaves in the basement.
Yeah, one important thing about this movie too, and what Grant does is he starts to make almost like this weird nest. In his basement.
Mm-hmm. But then, his wife, she wants to
have the sexy time.
Yeah, I was gonna go with make sex, but yours sounds just as bad. So they ended up. I think they do end up having sex, but he just has like a bug bite on his chest. Is what he calls it, but it's the needle mark. And then he like goes and he's gathering up all the meat in like their house.
Yeah, and then ends up going to the supermarket and
gets a bunch of meat too.
And the guy's like,
"You having a party?" And he responds something like that.
And then he's like, actually, hang on, and goes grabs more meat to buy and then puts it on there too.
Mm-hmm. And then they're supposed to go out like to a dance thing, which is celebrating the opening of hunting season.
Yeah, which is odd, but I guess it is a small town if you're like a hunting town.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest thing for them. That's their Super Bowl.
I have a friend who lives in Grantsburg, so.
Oh yeah.
So the fishing is pretty big there.
Mm-hmm.
Small town.
But Grant decides to he says last second, I gotta go to work, but there's something physically wrong with him. So he ends up going to Marguerite's place, and it's intercut between him and the party, but I don't want to say it. You say it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Into which we get his first transformation, into which tentacles start to rip out of his chest. And they're basically like...
They got needles on the end of them.
Yeah, they're basically like these... would you say like spider appendages, like mouth appendages?
Yeah, they look like they remind me of like the creatures from frickin' God, what was that movie? It was like a cruise ship, but a Hydra attack. It was stupid, but They reminded me of that. Like it's a tentacle with a needle on the end of it.
Yeah, and what it does is it sticks into the victim, flushes them with some bile, and then sucks out all the nutrients from them. Right?
Yeah. And makes them...
Which converts them into basically a human womb. So it's
gross.
like a living womb. Yeah, so that was definitely something that I would say is society-ish.
Yeah. Well, and then there's another scene later. But yes, that for sure.
So yeah, that gets to be pretty odd and very uncomforting.
It's different. Yeah. Thanks for making me watch that. Anyway, so...
It's definitely body horror, so there's a warning for that there is some body horror.
Yeah. So then we it shows like her and he like where does he have her? He like put her in like a barn or something. But she's got like a weird belly. Like it's supposed to be she's pregnant, but it's like saggy. Like ugh.
Yeah, it doesn't
look right.
Yeah.
But he like gets garbage bags full of meat and just throws it to her, and she's eating raw meat, like hamburger and steak, and I'm like, it's so gross. It's so disgusting.
And I think that's probably one of the worst parts in here is that it's just meat after meat after weird.
Meat after meat after weird. Yeah, that sums it up perfectly.
After weird meat and weird meat after that, it just becomes a variety of all these different meats.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, what kind of goes on after that?
Well, they have the opening season party thing, and then there's something else. It's like, oh yeah, because I guess her and Nathan Fillion's character were old flames, so they try to make you feel that. And I will say, spoiler for the end, they don't like end up together explicitly at the end, and I like that.
Which I'm glad.
Yeah, she's married. It wouldn't have been realistic if like they kissed in the end. Like no, like
and there really was no chemistry between them anyway.
Yeah, there really wasn't. I mean, they try to make you feel it, but it's also like
it's kind of a Raylo situation.
Yeah, but she notices his like. He says he was stung by a bee because she sees him and his face is fucked, but she like notices something's wrong, and he says he saw a doctor. She calls. The doctor says that he never saw him. So then she
over a month,
over a year,
over a year.
Yeah.
Yikes! What about your physicals? He's an older dude.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. There's more to be concerned about than parasites here. Get your regular check of all of your stuff. So, why was I pointing at the mic? What did you say?
Holes. Get all your holes and...
Holes. Elijah Wood, 2004. Okay, so... she comes back to the house... Well, no, she, like... Because Marguerite's missing. So... And Nathan Fillion's like, oh, they said that they saw your husband with her.
Bill.
Yeah. Do you want to give us a call if you see anything? And she's like, sure. And she goes in to confront Grant, and he's like... He's got, like, half a face. Like, his teeth are now fangs-ish. And he's got, like, tentacle arms.
Yeah, which, not to throw any shade at Gary Busey at all, but the first time I saw a clip, I didn't realize it was Michael Rooker because it really looked like Gary Busey if they put makeup on.
Yeah, the makeup team is good.
Yeah, and it's because of I think what it was is the facial structure with it, the way his head is shaped on his forehead and stuff.
Yeah.
And they kind of gave it like a blonde hair, so I thought they actually did some work for like Gary Busey, because I was like, that would be pretty awesome to see Gary Busey as one of those cool monster things, because I could totally see him doing that role.
For sure. But she calls the police. They all get there. He's got like weird tentacle arms. He runs out the door.
Yeah, they're like, it's kind of funny because they're noodle arms. So he's like he goes to like grab Starla, and then he starts wrapping it and like extending it.
And it's like choking her,
Yeah, and then when Bill gets there with the other officers, he runs out and his arm is just going bloop, bloop.
Yeah, it looks bizarre. And they're like, what? They even say what the F, like...
Yeah, Bill's just like, what the fuck was that?
But then he runs away, and then it's 3 days later?
Yeah, we cut to 3 days later, which is like, oh. But a good transition.
Yeah, because we need time to have passed, because it says, like, he's hit 3 farms, and he's been, like, he cuts open the animals and, like...
Drains them.
Yeah, because Starla earlier went into their basement and found, like, a bunch of animal carcasses.
Yeah, in which he locked that door.
With a key lock.
Yeah, and he locked it up pretty tight, and because he wanted to keep Starla out there. And it's almost like a xenomorph nest, in all honesty.
It's really gross.
It's gross. It's got, like, mucus. It's got, like, mucusy type interior to it, and it's just gross. You'd expect it to be some sort of weird monster.
The Nerd's Hour drinking game. Every time Noah says mucus, take a shot. So,
mucus.
There's another one. Don't do it on purpose. It has to happen organically. But
whoa, we're
look, what I do in my time is my business. So the show. So he. Oh yeah. So they're like, okay, he's gonna go to this farm next because he's been keeping up this same pattern. So let's get a posse together, which is layman speak for we're gonna deputize a bunch of people who know how to use guns.
And we're gonna say you are legal. You're deputies.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds totally ethical to me.
Which, hey, I think it's good. Community projects are good.
Community projects. That's one way to put it, I guess.
Community teamwork is always good, even if it results...
Community teamwork. That's the most redundant... Community is a team. That's the most redundant... Whatever.
Serving your community together in a posse to get rid of some slithery alien-ass monsters.
So, anyway... They have a bunch of guns, which I'm like, why does this police station have the frickin'... It looks like the gun Ripley used in Aliens, but they're gonna go down and stay out for this farm. The farm has, like, a family of, like, a mom, a dad, and 3 daughters, the oldest of which is important. That's why I'm mentioning it.
Yeah, she plays a huge role.
Yeah. But they wait and they see within the 3 days, he's way more deformed and squid-like than he was before. He doesn't even have any legs.
Yeah, he's essentially become basically one big worm.
Yeah. But they catch him, like, gutting a cow. She walks up to him, tries to calm him down and talk him into, like, coming back with them and telling him where Marguerite is. And then one idiot, like, just points a gun at him, like, really close to him. He's like, you tell us or we're gonna... do this the hard way, blah, blah, blah. And then he, like, gets cut in half.
Well, it wasn't even full cuts. What he did is basically Grant shoots out his tentacle.
It's real fast.
Whips him, and it looks like he got cut in half up the middle.
Yeah.
But really...
It stops at the spine.
Yeah, it stops, like, just at the spine, so he opens like an Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
And then his guts just spill, which... It's
really
gore-tastic, but it was awesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, it was just kind of cool to be like... You know, because usually you just see people, they fall in half.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a really cool gore effect. And it wasn't super over-the-top like Saw either. No. It was just like a kind of... Oh, your old guts. So it actually looked more realistic.
Yeah.
Honestly, just to go...
Mm-hmm. But they start shooting at him, chasing him through the woods, and they come across this barn in where they find Marguerite, and she's... How do I describe this? You know what a pimple looks like?
Fatter than fuck.
Yeah. You know what a pimple looks like? Like, imagine if a pimple, like, had an end to it, like a rubber ball, and it just had a face. No limbs, just a face. And, like, she keeps growing and growing, and she's like, I'm so hungry, get me more to eat. That's like, what the heck?
And you get Bill saying, like, I reckon we take you to a doctor.
Yeah, and how are we gonna do that? He's like, shut up, I'm trying to calm her down.
And to which...
He tells her son is okay, which that's nice.
And then in which she asks if you can hand me part of that possum over there so I can just have a little bit to
eat. The mayor who's a part of the posse, like, leaves and throws up.
Which is like... Because, I mean, she is, like... she fills up. It's like literally.
There's no way to describe it, really.
Well, I think here's the perfect thing. Imagine Veruca Salt. No. Violet Beauregard.
Yeah.
Imagine if
it
she
just
hadn't
kept going.
turned blue. Yeah, and she was as big in the Willy Wonka version, in the Johnny Depp version, where the Oompa Loompas are jumping on her. It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Except no clothes.
Yeah.
But you can't even tell.
Mm-hmm. But then she explodes, and all of these like leeches start coming out.
Yeah, they like start to tear her.
They tear her apart. It almost looks like a C-section.
Yeah, and it's weird because it looks like, I think it's the movie The Sand that they got the little weird. Yeah, it kind of looks like that, where you got like these little you can see the nerve tenements too.
Yeah, gross.
So,
but they like come out and they start like getting a bunch of the people. They jump inside their mouths.
Yeah, and to which you're just kind of sitting there like, will you guys shut up with the whole screaming act, because it's like, this is exactly what's happening. They want you to scream, which was definitely kind of gave me a Dead Silence vibe.
Yeah, great movie.
Yeah, very good movie. Into which Bill is quick on his feet to say, hey, close your mouths.
Yeah.
So, I mean, everything that's going on, if you are in public, I mean, we gotta be safe.
Yeah, because he gets covered. Oh, yeah, if this thing happened during COVID, he picked the wrong time to land on Earth, hopefully. But, they cover their mouths, and they get, like, covered in leeches, but then they just kind of leave. And who do we have left? It's the female deputy.
We got Starla,
Bill,
Kylie, I think. Is that the officer?
Yeah, and then the mayor. Those are the only ones. How the mayor did not get infected is freaking beyond me. Or yeah, he was outside.
Yeah, but he got ran over, which is why his mouth was closed for once.
Yeah, for one. Thank God.
Sorry, hands down, the best scene with the mayor. When he's face down under all of them and you can't hear a word from him.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. No, the best scene is when he dies and you can't hear any words from him for the rest of the film. But, like, they look dead, right?
Yeah.
And then they, like...
They do a zombie resurrection type act.
Yeah, later they get up, but they're all saying things that Grant would say, so we know it's a hive mind.
Yeah, but before we learn that, that's when we get a look at... Well... Or is it Kylie that is the teenager that...
The teenager gets attacked. She's in the tub and gets attacked by one of them. And it's like half in her mouth. So she starts seeing visions of this thing on another planet.
I'm sorry, that's Kylie. Kylie's the teenager,
yeah.
So not the female officer. That's my
They
bad.
start seeing visions of the planet it was on, other things it infected, how it came there, how it infected Grant. She basically gets the audience perspective.
Yeah, and one of the things I really respect James Gunn for doing is that even though she was naked in the bathtub, we didn't have to include a bunch of titty shots.
No
or
nudity.
anything.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So that was undoubtedly the best part.
I only enjoy nudity when it is necessary to the plot of the film. Ugh.
Yeah, which it's kind of like, or actually, we may have mixed up here.
Oh, what? That's never happened.
Because we're kind of getting some...
Well, because that happens simultaneously with them rising up and turning thing, so...
Everything kind of... Okay, never mind.
Yeah, we're fine. But her whole family gets infected, and she doesn't. And she runs out of the house and hides in a truck. And then they're all kind of surrounding her and, like, hitting the window and trying to get to her.
Yeah, which, if you see in the ending of the Pet Cemetery remake, it's kind of like that. The odd reminiscence of that. Also, it was Brenda James' character who became the human womb that got really swelled up and exploded, I guess. Not Marguerite.
Which one was Marguerite, then?
I think she's the officer, so Brenda.
Okay.
Sorry,
well,
so every time...
If you see the movie, you'll know.
Yeah, so every time we have said Marguerite, we really meant Brenda. Mm-hmm. Which is kind of weird, because... Oof.
Yeah.
But,
well, we do what we can. So it ended up that, like... They all get infected. They attack. They like spit acid onto the female deputy, and she dies.
Yeah, into which was another taunt at Starla that she needs Grant more than anything because she's completely useless without him.
Yeah. Dick move.
Which, yeah, the whole
thoroughly
time...
uncool.
And what really leads to that is that she has a shotgun up to his face, and then he says, "Oh, go ahead, you won't shoot me." Into what she proceeds to shoot him in the face.
She doesn't shoot Grant. She shoots the deputy that he's possessing.
Yeah, that he's talking through.
Yeah. She's awesome in this movie. Yeah, to quote the mayor, hardcore.
I was waiting for you to do it.
What?
You said to quote the mayor.
I just said it. She's hardcore. That's the quote.
Oh, I kind of got lost there for a second. I thought we were middle of our head.
Get the smelling salts. Get the smelling salts. He passed out. He passed out.
My wallet, free money.
Free money, it's yours. I would work if I was like, ooh, his wallet, free money.
Like, don't, mine.
Oh, okay. What are you, the freaking sea? Mine.
Never know.
No, so anyway. Frick, I forgot where we were. Oh yeah, so they're running from the zombies because Bill went to look for help and he stumbles upon the girl who's getting attacked by her parents in the truck.
Yeah, and to which he proceeds to lure them away to give her enough time to hop out of the car, and he then kind of tries to reason with her family because he knows that they've got the parasites in their brains, and he's like, "Well, I'm gonna call you guys." Oh, excuse me.
Jeez, man.
I'm gonna call you guys an ambulance, but I'm going to take
her with me.
I'm gonna take Kylie with me. Into response with that,
they chase him and spit at him.
Well, no. First, he gets a shovel to the face.
Oh yeah,
by one of the other
infected, because we find out everybody is
pretty much everybody. Infected. Yeah. Into which he gets back up, and then they run to his cop car. Into which it's funny because Nathan Fillion breaks that southern accent by saying,
"For a second,
what's with the spitting?"
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It was just funny to be like, out of everything that he said, it just kind of cracks there with, "What's with the spitting?"
Yeah, well, I mean, would you not ask that?
No, I'm not saying that. It's just the accent drop.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty great. But, so then, the other people get in too.
Yeah.
Starla and the mayor. And she, like, decapitates one of them with a spear, which is when the mayor says she's fucking hardcore. But they drive back to the town, and they call Shelley the secretary, right?
Yes, into which that's when we get our shot of Jenna Fisher.
Well, we saw her a little bit before, but we actually really get like a solo shot of her. But
yeah.
He's like, call the CDC, and as she's saying she's about to do that. Also, you gotta watch this movie because we're skipping over all of the jokes. There's a lot of jokes in this movie. It's a very joke-heavy film. There's a joke in this part about a toilet, but she gets infected by them, and then calls back. So they're like, "Oh, we're alone. No one's coming. It's just us."
Yeah, which
they crash.
They crash, and then they start to where they head after that? They try to make their way towards.
They crash the car. Zombies take the mayor and Starla, and then. But Bill and the girl get out. So they're separated again. Bill and the teenager.
Yeah, and so which Bill and Kylie try to make their way over to...
He wants to go to the police station to get a grenade. Because he's going to use the grenade to destroy Grant and destroy everything.
Yeah, and to which they make it over there, and then...
He gets attacked by a deer.
Yeah, it's a mutated, which is actually one of the scariest things in this movie.
Yeah, because in like zombies, you expect like just people to usually get infected, but I like it when they do the twist of like animals. Like same with Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse. They had some zombie infected cats. Hell no.
Yeah,
cats are scary enough when they're just cats.
When they're pissed off.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, like, I love what they did with the infected concept and kind of giving it more of a zombie-esque vibe.
That was the same in Train to Busan. That's the opening shot as an infected deer.
See, I haven't seen that yet. It's on my list though.
So good, so good. But she saves him from the deer. They get the grenade, and then they're gonna go to Grant's house. And Grant had a bunch of zombies doll up and make Starla all pretty.
Yeah. Into which she kind of tries to seduce him into...
Yeah, because she made a hairbrush into a knife. Like, she took the handle off. And she hid it under her nightgown. And also the mayor gets infected and made into... He has a wound now.
Yeah.
He's in the basement eating a person.
Yeah, into which he does die, though, right?
Yeah, when Bill comes in later, he shoots him in the head.
Yeah.
Because he says, please, kill me.
Which I forgot that he was infected. I was thinking that he just kind of was trying to blend in.
No, because you see the tentacles go into him.
Right.
Yeah, but she's like trying to seduce him, and it's full on society mode. There are people merging with him that are nude, and like they're all talking through him, and it's like, bleh, bleh, bleh. Why do you make me watch this shit? Yes, you. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Oh, what? Did you not appreciate it? You made me watch it.
No, I did.
I know you did.
I love anything that resembles The Thing.
I'm okay with it resembling The Thing. But when I have to see, like, grown men, boil-covered, pus-soaked nude ass, hell no. Okay?
I honestly,
hell no.
At first, just thought it was a lady. I didn't realize it was a guy.
No, that was a dude. That was a dude.
Oh, I know. I didn't realize until the second shot, and I was like, oh, that's a guy.
Sure. Like you would have warned me. Yeah.
I mean, it could always be worse.
I was just quoting your favorite sound in society, and you didn't even thank me.
See, you gotta do it with your lips. It's gotta be like...
So...
Still one of the best scenes. You can't admit that was not funny.
But she gets close enough to him, stabs him a couple times, he hits her. Nathan Fillion tries twice to throw this grenade, and he keeps getting knocked back, because he keeps putting his arm back like this. Like, you guys can't visually see it. He's winding up to throw it. Dude, just toss it. Like,
yeah,
how hard is it? Like,
it was really kind of like, why were you trying to make it so overdramatic and being like...
You're 2 feet from him. Just underhand it quick and get out of there. But it blows up in the pool.
Yeah, because he gets knocked out of his hand, knocked back, and...
He gets stabbed with one tentacle.
Yeah, and manages to stop the other.
With a gas tank.
Yeah, well, propane. Excuse me. Which again, it's really cool to think that, you know, Bill is so on his feet. Because not a lot of people are like... Yeah, and honestly, I have to give Slither credit. You know, the teenager and everybody who died in this movie or got infected. Yeah. They weren't stupid. No. They were actually legitimately trying. The only people that I would say are stupid technically is the mayor. Yeah. But... Everybody else in this movie... They were all pretty much smart, except the one guy who walked out and was like...
The dude who got cut in half.
Yeah, which was funny.
I would say stupid. Yeah, because you can't really fault anyone for screaming at the slugs. Because why wouldn't you scream at those things, you know? Yeah. So then... He ends up throwing the propane tank, and... How does it explode? Starla shoots it?
Well, no. Because it sucks out nutrients, Grant ends up sucking all the gas out.
And he gets, there's a bunch of gas inside of him. Yeah. That's right.
And to which it kind of sparked anyway from him stabbing into it so hard. Mm-hmm. Into which Bill is so close to it, but he tells Starla to shoot anyway. Into which Grant tries to give one more, "You're nothing without me." Mm-hmm. And
she proves she isn't. She proves she is something.
And in which Starla is basically like, well, you're not even my husband anymore. You're just a monster. Yeah. So she shoots him pretty much anywhere at that point because it all gets distributed. Yeah. And blows him up. Into which we do find out that Bill lived.
Yeah, Bill's fine because he didn't get stabbed with both, so he isn't womb style.
No, but
everyone else dies. Like,
pretty much.
All the hive mind infected people. Which I gotta say, props to Gunn for not just being like, and the infection went away and the town lived. No, like, 3 people are left.
Yeah. And that was my favorite part. It really shows. I love movies that have that kind of dark ending. Spoilers alert, that's why one of my favorite movies in the world that's horror is Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah, dark ending.
It had a very, very dark ending.
Yeah. But he's alive, Starla's alive, the girl's alive.
But into which there's only one thing that if they were to set up for a potential sequel, because I think James Gunn left it open for the possible opportunity if people wanted it.
Maybe.
But Bill, he's still filled with whatever alien gunk.
It's leaking out, but he's like holding his side and walking away. So I think he's fine, but they could do something,
I mean, I just feel like that messed with your biology a little bit, because you don't know what's in there.
I mean, he's walking to a hospital, so, yeah.
That's true.
They walk off in the sunset.
The other thing, too, what was I going to say? I really liked the flashback sequence to Kylie being able to see what these aliens were doing on their home planet.
It was a creative twist. And it was a good way for them to figure out what's going on and how to stop everything. I believe it.
And I think that was the coolest thing of all, just getting to see an origin story. Because there's so many times where I really just wish, it's still just as scary to see. I mean, because it is scary to think about that these beings wiped out even their own species just because they could.
Right. Well, and it feeds on the same fear that zombie movie feeds on. Because, like, what's something that we subconsciously as humans are afraid of deep down? Conformity. Being a part of just one giant thing and losing your identity.
Yeah.
We as humans are terrified of that.
The other thing, too, that I think makes the slugs much scarier is the fact that how did they get onto the asteroid and how many other planets have they been to just ripping other beings apart?
Well, I think he sent his... It wasn't a bunch of slugs. It was just the needle that was the main consciousness. And then it infected Grant. So I think the main consciousness just split off from the other things that it was already infected. Because presumably there are a bunch of planets still infected with it, but when they killed it on Earth, all those other places died as well. It's kind of like, do you remember Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, how Kurt Russell's character...
he was the planet. When he Ego died, everything else died.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All the other infections that were happening stopped. But, yeah.
It just made me curious because I'm like, how did they get on the asteroid? Because, that's got to be hard to do.
How did he make himself an asteroid?
Yeah.
Some things don't need to be explained.
No, but that's what makes it so scary, though, and I like that. Just to think that...
The mystery and uncertainty.
Traveling to planet, and you don't even know.
Yeah, because you don't know how many planets it already has done by now.
Yeah, so that was Slither. And, I mean, it's a good popcorn movie. It's definitely interesting.
Yeah, not a big commitment.
I honestly think that the faculty in this movie go well together. Small town.
I do prefer the faculty, though.
I did prefer the faculty because it had a little bit more character development.
Yeah.
And a bit more horrific.
Well, and also from the faculty, we could infer, but it wasn't all explained. Like, I liked how in Slither it explained a lot of it, but in the faculty it was still, very much a mystery.
Yeah. Yeah, we kind of got that explanation a bit early, but at least it was more towards the end.
Yeah. I just didn't like the faculty's ending.
Yeah, it was...
The characters they paired up with, I was like, boo.
Yeah, it was less than desirable on my part, too. Which, I think they're having a pre-order for the Blu-ray, so I kind of want to... I want to check that out, too.
Yeah, sure.
But, yeah, that I think overall it was a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
Definitely one of the James Gunn's, fun little sci-fi flicks. And it does show why indie movies are fun and why Michael Rucker and Nathan Fillion are still fun actors to see. Mm-hmm. And it's always a pleasure to get to see Jenna Fisher. I mean, even though it was disappointing she wasn't in it more.
Yeah, fair.
But, thank you guys for listening tonight, whether you guys are on Anchor, Spotify, or our YouTube channel, wherever you're listening to the podcast.
Yeah, be sure to be on the lookout for our Instagram.
Yep, we will leave that in the description as well as our Facebook group. Yeah. Feel free to join there with the community. Feel free to talk, and I think eventually I'll make something personally kind of dedicated to horror and sci-fi, a little group, so you guys can check that out.
Yeah, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell to get notifications whenever new episodes come out.
And let us know what you guys want to see, because without you guys, the show doesn't run. So.
Yep, you keep the lights on. Oh, they're flickering. Oh, that's not good. Okay. But, yeah.
Wavering faith.
Yeah. My faith is like a ship on water. It bobs, but I don't see it sinking anytime soon. I was just making that up as I go. That was good improv. Good job, Nate. Thank you, Nate. Anyway, thanks for supporting us and listening to the episode. Be sure to tune in next week.
Into which you will get a special psychological thriller treat. Do we want to say that, or do we want to leave it as a surprise?
Let's go the Airhead route and leave White Mystery for it. Yeah,
you guys will like it. Yeah. That's all I got to say.
It was also my nickname in high school. Okay, so
without further ado, I've been Noah Sweeto.
I've been Nathaniel Schumacher my entire life.
Well, I would hope so.
Yeah.
And this has been Film Nerds Hour. See you later, guys.
Bye bye.